In Acts chapter 9, we read about Paul's conversion, how on the Damascus road he meets with Jesus Christ. Paul, as we remember from the stoning of Stephen, was named Saul before he was named Paul, and he was persecuting the Christians. He was making sure that this new heresy of proclaiming that Jesus Christ could be God. You can imagine for a Jew that was just outrageous, that some human being who walked the earth could actually be the Son of God. And so he was persecuting this new group of Jewish believers known as people of the way. But on the road to Damascus, in order to persecute more Christians, he had an encounter with Jesus Christ. And he said, "Who are you, Lord?" And Jesus says, "I'm Jesus, the one you're persecuting. And you go into the city and I'll tell you what you must do." It's interesting that Paul was persecuting Christians, but Jesus says, "You're persecuting me." And from this we get an understanding, and believe that's where Paul got his understanding, that the believers, the born-again followers of Jesus, are actually the body of Christ. You persecute the believers, you're persecuting Christ. They're part of his body. They're the representations of Christ on this earth. And Paul then goes into the city, meets this believer called Ananias, and Ananias prays for him and tells him from God what he must do, and says that he will be one who will take the gospel to the Gentiles, take the gospel to the Jews, but also that he'll take the gospel to kings and leaders. And we see that, remember, this Luke is a pre-trial brief written to defend Paul, and it's one that will actually be read by Nero. And so that's going to be what Paul is told to do, to actually preach the gospel to kings, preach the gospel to Jews, preach the gospel to Gentiles. Enjoy.